You're live. All right. So I tried to make my last video with my AirPods and hoping the microphone would be better quality than my phone, but it's not. Doesn't work. Amazing headphones and blah blah blah, but you can't live stream with them for some reason. So I gotta just do this the old school way. So let's get this started. And I'm live streaming vertically. Yeah, because it's easier. Okay, so I have this paper here I told you guys about. It exists. I wasn't lying. About my Tesla, my experience working at the Tesla factory, and why it's and I've been trying to put out this video for a while because I've been debating, should I do it, should I not, because I do appreciate the experience I had. I think it's made me a better person, but there's certain things that have happened that I think everyone should know, especially about how the Tesla factory in Fremont is very ambiguous and deceptive in their hiring process. And so it's mainly for that reason that I want to make this video, because they're deceptive and very shady during the hiring process. That's the main reason, and two, because it sucks working there. If there's any way to articulate that, it just sucks. It sucks working there. Okay, so the paper exists. I'm gonna show you. It's 6 pages. Oh, no. It's 5 pages and like 3 sentences. Wow, so it's 5 pages. All right, so I'm just gonna start off reading it, and I'll post it, and I'll explain it as I read it. I was gonna post this originally on Glassdoor. I wrote this like 2 days after I left. My story is that I got hired. I applied in January 2017. I was working at my friend's company at that time. Yeah, this needs a little backstory to like get the whole picture of everything, okay? I have established a restaurant and a food business with my family. It sort of just happened. My dream was to be a recording engineer in the music industry, and somehow, next thing you know, I'm running a small food business in Cupertino. 3 years later, we expanded to San Mateo, sold that one to some regulars, and I've been here ever since. It's been 4 years now. And so we built the business up to the point where I could leave and try something new. So I applied to a few different places. I got hired in an IT company, doing like simple little projects around the Bay Area. It's going pretty well for me there. Then 5 months after I applied to Tesla, I had which is around the same time, about January, I started working at this IT firm. And then I applied to Tesla, and then 5 months later I got hired. By that time I was pretty high up in the IT firm based on my hard work and the recognition I got, the effort I was putting in, and my I wouldn't really say my level of skill. My level of skill was up there with everybody, but not everybody had the work ethic that I did. There's definitely people smarter than me in IT. Absolutely, 100%. And then 5 months later, I got a call from Tesla. They asked me to come in for an interview. And at the time, I was like, dude, my whole life, I've been like such a Tesla fanboy. I was one of those guys that looked up to Elon Musk, admired his like business work, his like computer work, everything he's trying to do. And I was like, I test drove a Tesla probably like around the second year of my first business. I really wanted one. I've always wanted one. I always said my next car will be a Tesla and I'm not buying anything else. Oh, wait. Let's make this nice and pretty. There we go. Okay, so I was one of those people. Like, I'm not the kind of person who's like anti-Tesla, or I used to not be. And I mean, I still admire the mission, but after what I've seen in the factory, I just can't support Tesla, man, or Elon. I'm gonna get an Audi instead. I'm not some kind of like anti-Tesla shield. No one's paying me to do this video. I hate the oil and gas industry and all that crap. And I'm against the military-industrial complex. I think electric cars are the future. They should be the future. They run better. They work better, essentially. And you know, gas is just so expensive and it's ruining the planet. Blah 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 blah. All that, dude. I am not anti like. I'm not your typical like anti-Tesla person. You know what I mean? I don't know. I've never been anti-Tesla. I don't even know what the community for anti-Tesla is like. All I know is I got hired at this place, right? And it sucked. So 5 months later, they call me, said come in for an interview. I passed the interview. I was one of the first people to pass the this exam they give you. And then they like said, all right, you gotta take a physical, a drug test, and a background check. I passed all those with flying colors. And not even weed was in my system, bro. Like, anyways, physical was top notch, blah blah blah. Not that it matters. And then they hype you up, you know, like, oh, it's such a great time to join. When in reality, I'll get to it, man. This is basically part 2 of my video of why it sucks to work at Tesla. Because the first one was kind of like a rough draft, trying to get the feel of what I should say, what I shouldn't say, like to convey my message as clear as possible. And I didn't have this paper in front of me, and I didn't think I'd have time to make this video, but I have some downtime right now, so I'm like, screw it, let's just chop it up, get it out there. So, I went in for like my 3rd interview or something like that, and everyone in the lobby was talking crap, like, oh, you know, they do this to you where they don't give you time to like, they don't give you 2 weeks notice, and it's true. I went in for that interview for the stamping department with some supervisor. Everything went cool. But little did I know that the truth is that like, it's all like for show and to hype you up. Because they will hire anybody, essentially. It's not that, for when it comes to production, for the engineering and all that, I don't know how they're doing it, why they're doing it. When I'm doing my training, they flew in people from all around the world, Mexico, Germany, blah, 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 I don't know. They bought their airplane tickets and they're buying like their housing for the first 3 months and stuff like that, and they got it made, right? They got it made. And so, so after that interview, what happened was, since I heard in the lobby, the waiting lobby, where everyone was talking crap about Tesla, that they didn't want to work there, but they're just giving the interview a chance, that they wouldn't call me 2 weeks in advance, like, hey, you start in 2 weeks, you start in 3 weeks. No, they would be like, they'll wait a week and they'll be like, hey, on Sunday, they'll call you, or Saturday. You start on Tuesday. So they give you like 2-3 days, man, to start. And so it puts a lot of pressure on you because they hype you up like, it's time, you've got the opportunity of a lifetime to work at Tesla. That's what they're trying to like psych you up to. And so when they do that, it's like, they say that their excuse is that they want people that really want to work there, that will do what it takes to work there. It's just a stupid way of like covering it up, because I think the reality is they do that so that you will ditch your last job. It will make you look bad, and then you can't go back because the turnover rate is so high. They're doing whatever it takes to lower that, man, which is super shady if you ask me that they do that. It happens a lot. Happened to me. It happened to a number of people that I've met in stamping. I moved for the job because they hyped me up as well. I spent thousands of dollars moving, about 5 minutes away down the street from the factory. $775 a month rent, tiny little room. I didn't even have a kitchen. That's besides the point. So since I moved, if I hadn't moved there, I would have quit my first month. That's how bad it was. Probably less than a month. But I moved, so I was stuck there. And that's what happens to a lot of people. And also because they ditched their last job and they can't go back. So I stayed there for about almost a year as an experiment. I didn't even need this job. I stayed there to see what it was like, because I admired Tesla so much. I admired the company. I was like, let's see what it's like, man, So my first week, dude, I was like, there must have been some mistake. I told that to my supervisor, I told it to my lead, and since then, they had it in for me, dude. They had it in for me. They were pissed that they thought that I was acting like I was better than them, when I don't think I'm better than anybody. I actually don't think that highly of myself, even though I've accomplished and built successful businesses and done a lot of stuff in my life. That's very little compared to the people that I have met through my businesses. I am in the heart of San Mateo, about 20 minutes south of San Francisco. I've met, and in a business club I was co-founder of a startup where basically you get to rate waiters and other service industry professionals, and so I was going with my business partner from hackathon to hackathon, meeting VC venture capitalists, really successful people. So the way I view myself is here, and everyone I met is light years up, dude. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think highly of myself, but they thought I was, because I was trying to tell them how bad it was there compared to the things I've seen. I've been to Lyft headquarters. In the IT firm that I worked, I was leading small IT projects in many, many places around the Bay Area and California. I've been, they paid for my drive time and my gas to drive to San Luis Obispo and lead IT projects in Amazon. I've done projects in the Lyft headquarters, Dropbox headquarters, Symantec headquarters, VMware headquarters, just by Page Mill Tesla location. There's been so many places I've done projects on, I can't even count, dude. Multi-million-dollar companies that you never even heard of because they're basically B2B. They basically provide the infrastructure and technology that the bigger companies that are mainstream like Apple, Microsoft, and Google need. They give them the equipment they need, so they're worth a lot, but you never heard of them because it's not mainstream. You know what I'm saying? So you probably never even heard of Restaurant Depot, but that's where most places go to buy their stuff. You never even heard of Sysco, SYSCO, because that's where places go to. That's companies that deliver food. You might have seen the trucks and stuff like that. They're that type of company, basically. That's where I was doing projects, right? And these companies, so my standards were pretty high for workplace, environment, and culture. So in these places, they're big tech campuses, and the reason I mention this is because one of the reasons I went to work at Tesla was because Elon was saying stuff he likes to think of himself as a tech company that makes cars. This is so far from the truth. He is a car company that's it. He's a car company. That's it. Don't hype it up like you're something special, because it's not. What else? So I started working at Tesla because I had that mentality from what I heard in his interviews, but that's not the case with them. Because I've been to these tech campuses, and that's why I'm mentioning this. So I have something to contrast it to. Most people that working at Tesla don't. For example, at LinkedIn headquarters, that's a place I forgot to mention. Also Brocade, I've been to Brocade. LinkedIn had arcades in every building. They would have games on the walls. They would have free food. And all these campuses treat the third-party IT guys that like me. They would treat me like an employee. They would give me free food, free drinks, free soda, free coffee, free bagels, everything, dude. Tesla doesn't even do that for their employees. That's how cheap they are. And you're working your ass off more than these people at the company because you're in a comfy chair. You don't have chemicals stinking up everywhere around you. You have fans in the restroom. People who I used to work with hear what I just said, they would laugh because I would always complain about the bathrooms because the bathrooms are like the worst bathroom you've ever seen. And my lead would always tell me, dude, have you ever worked construction? Have you seen the porta potties that they have to deal with? And I'm like, no, I'm not, because this is supposed to be a tech campus that makes cars, right? So that's why I was hated on a lot at Tesla, and that's why I couldn't take the job that seriously, man. Because I had a bad start. I had a really bad start, and then I think if people actually heard and knew my story, then they would understand why I did what I had to do. Oh no, I just remembered I'm not supposed to like disclose like information about these tech campuses. So I'm just gonna basically say that all the tech campuses I've been to give your employees free food, free drinks, treat them real well. The bathrooms are amazing, and a lot of them have like alcohol, bars, full bars, games, arcades. They have like Nerf gun fights. It's awesome, dude. It's awesome. You don't get that at Tesla, okay? That's fine. This all provides insight to what I'm going with, right? Because they are ambiguous in the hiring process, they make it so that you leave your last job in bad terms. I've met one person in Metal Finish. Metal Finish is basically, I gotta try to make this like, to people who don't know what I'm talking about, because when I got hired at Tesla, I didn't know I had no idea about this world of like car making and factory work, and that's why I'm glad I experienced it, because it made me like a stronger person and all that, blah 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 blah. So I'm trying to make this so people that don't understand all this stuff. And at any moment I might have to go because customers walked in, just so you know. So I'm gonna continue making these videos like outlining every point about why working at Tesla sucks. Some of them are very good points, some of them aren't. But this part 2 is basically a clearer picture of my story and where I'm coming from, and why I guess my opinion might matter a little bit when I talk about Tesla and why it sucks. Okay. I'm gonna say that real quick, the point I was trying to make, that this one Metal Finish is basically where like you literally stare at a piece of metal all day in front of you, and you just like wipe it with like this like machine that like spins and like zzz, and you gotta wear a mask and you gotta wear sleeves, you gotta be covered up. It sucks. It's hot. You get sweaty. You can't breathe. You're breathing in the little pieces of like floating metal dust, dude. You're putting that in your lungs, man. That's not healthy, dude. And so this guy who used to be a supervisor at Safeway left, making $6,000 a month. He left for this job thinking he had a future, because they make you think you have a future when you really don't, man. You really don't have a future there, bro. And I'm gonna explain why, because this is not the kind of thing that I can just explain in 5 minutes why it's so fundamentally flawed to work. Why it's so fundamentally flawed there. In many ways, it's created a culture and a work environment that's very, very toxic. The work environment there is very toxic to the extreme, man. I've never seen such a thing. And all of this, just so you know, made me sad, dude, because I really was a Tesla fanboy, man. So it made me sad, slowly learning this, like, month by month. My first month, I told him, there's been some mistake. I have computer skills. I need to get out of here. Can you transfer me? And I couldn't leave because I moved. So I was stuck there, and this happens to a lot of people. I know I'm repeating myself, but I'm trying to take this step by step because there's so much information to give out. Okay, so I'm going to open up this document, and I'm going to go over my first paragraph. This is my first paragraph. I'm just going to read it. Okay, put this on my lap. Okay, I'm going to start reading. My experience since day one has been horrible. There are so many cons that I have no idea where to begin. I will just write off the top of my head. I wrote this paper like a day or two after leaving Tesla because I just can't take it anymore, man. It freaking sucks, bro. And I didn't have to be there. I feel bad for people that are just stuck there, bro. But if you're there stuck for like 2 years, like, dude, they give you free education. You can like use it and get out. If you decide to be there after 3 years, I really think it's by choice. And you have like, you need to get out there and like see other companies because you think Tesla's so good, but it's like the companies here in the Bay Area are way better. Like you can do better than that, man. Okay. Okay. First paragraph. First thing they will have you do is sign a meal waiver form. This is a con designed to mislead you. Let me explain what this meal waiver form really is. You are signing away your overtime hours and double time hours. You are put on a block schedule where in 2 weeks you will work 40 hours, but only 7 days. Sounds pretty good, right? So in 2 weeks you work 7 days, 12 hours a day. So you have like basically 7 days off every 2 weeks. So you have a lot of free time. It does sound pretty good until you realize it on your own, or your coworkers are nice enough to inform you of the following. That's right. When you sign this paper, management will not tell you that you are signing this agreement. They will tell you what you are signing is an agreement to skip a break. They tell you that the meal waiver form, basically you agreeing that you will skip a break in order to go home earlier. But that is not the case. The infuriating truth is that by signing this form, you are agreeing to work 12 hours a day, where 10 hours are regular pay and 2 hours are overtime. This steals so much money from you, dude. Like hundreds, like at least $500 per paycheck. Normally, under California law, 8 hours are regular time. 2 hours after that is overtime. Any hours after overtime are supposed to be paid double your normal hourly wage. So under California law, normally it's 8 hours overtime, 2 hours overtime, which is 1.5 times your wage. Anything after that is a double time. So it should be double your hourly earning. But not at Tesla. They make you sign that paper that they don't inform you about. And it sucks, man, because you're excited that you're going to be making money. But hey, no. You're working hella hours in a terrible place. And you're getting your wages stolen. I don't know how they get away with this when it's California law. I really don't know. Everyone there, from my experience, hates this. Hates that they do this to you. It's infuriating, man, but it's like you have no option, bro. You have no option but to sign this contract or you're going to get fired. Okay, continuing on. Usually that would be enough for the average person to quit. Allow me to explain why so many people still stay after finding out this horrible truth. Tesla tricks you into a trap when you get hired. The hiring interview is very ambiguous. They don't want you to be aware of the hellhole you're about to enter. I wrote this when I was a little frustrated. Okay. They don't want you to be aware of the hellhole you're about to enter. Don't feel so special when you get hired for a production position. They're desperate for employees. It's true. The turnover rate is extremely high. It's true. The supervisor who is interviewing you will tell you someone will call you once a decision has been made. The decision has already been made. The decision has already been made. You will be hired. Then you will ask, when will I get a call to know if I have been hired and when will I start? Right? You say that. Or something like that. When will I start if I get hired? You should, because they won't tell you in a week in advance. They'll just be like, bam, you're hired, you're coming in 2 days, and you gotta leave your job. I've already said this. Okay, continue on. The supervisor will reply with something along the lines of, I don't know. The hiring department handles that. Now, let me explain what happens after this. I'm reading. Someone from Tesla will call you eventually and say something along the lines of, hello, Mr. X. Congratulations, you have been selected for the position. At this point, you're ecstatic because, well, geez, who doesn't want to work at Tesla, right? People who have worked at Tesla. That's the answer. I'm so stupid. I wrote this, man. Oh, man, some of this stuff is funny. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be shady or nothing to nobody, man. I'm just saying, dude. Okay. Then the next sentence rolls out of their slimy snake mouths. Yikes. You start in 2 days. This is all planned. This is no coincidence. They will tell you they do this because they want people who are ready to work. I swear to God, they said this in a training. They could easily find out this information and give all their employees 2 weeks' notice, but they don't. This is so that you will abruptly leave your decent job and place yourself in a situation that makes it harder for you to leave once you start. I can provide real-life examples of this. One dude left a supervisor position at Safeway where he was making $6K a month. $6K a month, yeah. Now he's stuck at a dead-end job polishing parts all day. It's called metal finish. There is fine metal powder in the air all day at metal finish. You are inhaling that junk no matter how much you cover your face. It's true. Everyone who works at metal finish, man, I love you guys, but man, they all look really unhealthy, bro. Like, something's up. Okay. Poor dude now makes about $3K a month at this current job. Wasting his freaking wrists, dude. Getting carpal tunnel, man. You're wasting your freaking wrists and your life for this cheap job. It's fucking infuriating, bro. Okay. They will sell you the idea that you can move up in the company. Thus, it's worth slaving away at your current bottom of the barrel position. Yeah, right. In a department like stamping, this will not happen. Why? Simple. If you are desperate enough to do the job and have no other options, they will keep you there. I have seen it happen. Everything I am typing is not made up. I am using real-world examples. Even if I don't type out every example, I am telling the truth. I am. But I understand why someone would be skeptical to believe, because I've seen some ridiculous shit there. I am using real-world examples. I am telling the truth. If you're doing a job no one wants to do, they will keep you there. Why? Because you are the only one dumb enough to do it. And anyone else they have hired for that position quits because it is a mind-numbing job no one with half a brain wants to do. It's true. No one can deny that. I know it sounds insultive, but I'm not being insultive. I'm being realistic. Like, this is the reality of working at Tesla. Production position. Unfortunately for some people, they can't lose this job. They have no other option because they have a family to feed or have no other option. In many cases, people drive hours from the East Bay where jobs are scarce currently. Even though they are qualified for a better and more technical job, even though the department they applied for has already accepted them, the supervisor will tell them something along the lines of, unfortunately, we can't move you because stamping really needs you at your current location. This is 100% true. In part 1 of my this series, I go over that about the guy named Z on the 5A line. This is a real story. Continuing on. Pretty depressing, but this is the reality of stamping at Tesla. Man, it's been 2 months since I worked there, and man, just reading this takes me back to the horrific freaking world of stamping, bro. Okay. Pretty depressing, but this is the reality of stamping at Tesla. Let's move on. Let me tell you about the wonderful breaks. Oh man, I'm such a douche. Sarcastic much. Okay, excuse my doucheness. About every 2 hours, you will receive 15-minute breaks, and you better be back on time. Unless you're a lead or someone who's been there for a while and got connections with the supervisor. Or you just don't give a fuck. And you're a crazy-ass dude like me. The lines stop and wait for no one. Don't forget, you're just a number. Anyone can and will easily be replaced. It doesn't matter how high up you are or how long you've been there. Come break time, you have 15 minutes exactly. The walk to the break room is 3 to 4 minutes if you walk fast. Let's say warming up your food takes 1 minute. Add up the time walking there, walking back, and warming up your food. That's 7 to 9 minutes if you walk fast. Okay, so 7 to 9 minutes to get ready for your break. And this is during break time. This is your break time, dude. It takes you 7 to 9 minutes to get your food ready. And you're moving fast, dude. You're moving fast, man. You didn't have time to enjoy your break. Okay, so that leaves you about 7 minutes to scarf down your meal like a soldier at war before you power walk back to your station. For the insane amount of work and stress they put you through, you'd expect a decent meal time where you can actually enjoy your food. It's true. If you have read all the way to here, then you probably understand by now. Working and stamping at Tesla is horrible. Frankly, I personally have no idea why people stay here. I have a couple theories as to why people stay. It takes a certain type of personality and mindset to continue working here. You have to be a sort of masochist because this place will kick your butt physically and mentally. Your body will hurt, and you better learn to love the pain because it will never stop. The culture and work will drain you mentally. The culture, man. The culture is probably the worst part about working at stamping. The culture and work will drain you mentally. The you are just a number mentality will leave you feeling worthless and hopeless. From my experience, it seems that almost everybody here is on drugs to cope with the stress. Everyone has their vice of choice. It's true. First, you have the dudes on steroids. It's obvious who those are. Not that there's anything wrong with taking steroids. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it gives you an advantage, bro. Like, everyone has a way to have their advantage. I've even thought about taking some TRT to work out. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with taking steroids or drugs. I'm not saying that. Just clear about that. Okay. Everyone has their vice of choice. First, you have the dudes on steroids. It's obvious who those are. Their superhuman strength allows them to continue working here, and their explosive anger is very entertaining if you aren't intimidated by the behavior. Second, the stoners. It's pretty obvious who those are, and trust me, there's a lot of those. Smoking up in the breaks. Every fucking break, bro. That's what they did. I'm not much of a stoner, but man, when you're there, you gotta hit something. Third, the uppers. These people love pills and stimulants to help the day go by fast. It's pretty easy to spot them. They love cigarettes, and when you watch them work, it astonishes you how busy they can stay all day. You will never work as hard as them, and why would you want to? They never get any recognition anyways. And of course, you have the straight edges that don't do drugs. You can find them scarfing down unhealthy amounts of caffeine, energy drinks, unhealthy amounts of coffee or entire energy drinks every break. There's only a few people who manage to stay and work with no substance abuse. Those people have the worst attitudes. Also, allow me to remind you, I'm talking about production, not the engineers and supervisors who get to sit around all day and take long breaks. Dude, let me say that again. Long breaks. I'm talking about the people doing the actual real work. While working here, you will see so many people come and go. Almost everyone here hates their job. The people who stay here have no other option. They have an incentive system that forces you to stay in the company. Every 6 months they give you a review. I quickly learned this was nonsense as well. I've seen hardworking old men that truly care about the job and company receive 3 stars. Meanwhile, I've seen fools that don't care about their job receive 4 stars and 7K bonuses. I love you, my dude. Maybe the fact that the old limpy man spoke up to the supervisors at a meeting didn't help his review. Maybe the fool is buddies with the supervisor and received a good review because of it. It doesn't really matter because this is also a trap. You can't even touch your bonus. You can touch like 10% of it every 3 months. Just another way to keep you stuck there. By the way, if you quit or get fired, you will lose all your stock. I think the most important part you should take from this long wall of text review is the following. Everything I have described is my real experience. If you think this is bad, then you are wrong. I'll tell you what's really bad. What's really bad is a horrible culture all of this has led to developing in stamping. Everything I have described has led to people who just don't care about their job. There is a reason the director of stamping himself quit. The culture that has formed from this mess is horrendous. When you are new and first start, you will be placed at the jobs and tasks nobody wants to do. Why? Well, because chances are you're most likely going to quit within your first month or two. So this gives the vets a chance to not do the mind-numbing job known as stacking, or any other mind-numbing job that there is. Simply put, as a stacker, you will be picking up a piece of metal from point A, the conveyor belt, to point B, the rack. You will be doing this all day for 12 hours straight, essentially. If you are on a slow line, consider yourself blessed. If you are on a fast line, prepare for war. Hashtag 2A line, the 3A line, or 5A. You will be pushed to your limits, not so much physically, but definitely mentally. This is the most mind-numbing job you will ever do. I swear to God. Any hobo off the street can do this job. Stacking, I'm talking about stacking, and you know that's true. Don't get mad at me, anyone from Stamping, for saying that, because it's true. Any hobo off the street can stack. You are literally worthless and can be replaced any day by a person with half a brain. No one can deny this claim when it comes to being a stacker. Prepare to do this for a long time. Your coworkers and leads are already in the game. They understand the culture. They know how the place works. They're going to try to keep you there as long as possible. You will feel like you are in quicksand trying to escape. I have talked online to people who work at other stamping centers around the United States and across the world. This is not the case other places. In other stamping centers, they put you in a path to learn every position in the line. You are placed on a path to success and learn skills an engineer would know. Thus, you have the experience to take some classes and work towards certification or engineering degree. This is not the case at Tesla. It is the complete opposite. At Tesla's stamping department, you are in quicksand trying to claw your way out. I came to this sentence conclusion from talking to people there at stamping. It's not a lot of what I'm writing here is not just from my brain. Like, this is from a years of experience and months and months and months of talking to people around the department, trying to figure it out, man, because that's the kind of guy I am. Like, I'm very analytical, very management oriented, and I like to figure stuff out. And if I hadn't come to the conclusion that there's really no hope for this place, I wouldn't have left. Okay. At Tesla's stamping department, you are in quicksand, clawing your way out. Nobody wants to teach you anything because it threatens their position. Also, the supervisor doesn't give a damn. If you complain, he will simply tell you something along the lines of, you have to look over the shoulders of the A-man or the leads while they fix the line. This is the way you must learn. Unbelievable, right? Welcome to Stamping at Tesla. Real world story, I was one time I asked the maintenance guy a little question about how to, like, I don't even remember, something technical about the line and the robots. And he said, I can't tell you that because then you'll take my job. That's basically the culture you're in there. Okay. Ask anybody as soon as you join. The leads and supervisors do almost nothing. The place seems to be run by people right out of an insane asylum. Oh, man. The training system is completely backwards. Allow me to explain why. While the line is running, the stackers and QC work. These are the two most difficult and mind-numbing jobs they force you to learn first. QC basically means the stacker picks up the part, moves it over here all day, every day. The QC basically checks the part before the stacker gets to it. So you're just like looking at the part all day. Oh, okay, yep, that's all right. Next, oh, that's okay, that's all right. And then, oh, you found a little flaw, a little pimple, whatever. You gotta go back in the machine, stop it, and like clean the die, and then bam, start it up again. That's QC. Very fucking stupid and annoying to do it all day. Okay, let me continue on. These are the two most difficult and most mind-numbing jobs they will force you to learn first. While the line is down, the A-man or leads work. Okay, so we're in the front doing all the work. The A-man or leads are in the back. I mean, they call it the front, but it looks like everyone thinks the back because it's all the way in the back, and we're technically in the front. But so the back of the machine is in the front, and the front of the machine is in the back. I digress. Okay, while the line is down, the A-man, so the line stops for some reason, things go wrong. The A-man or leads work. They need to troubleshoot while the line is down and fix it. Once you get to this level, you realize it is such an easy job. 95% of the time, it is incredibly simple to get the line running again. I don't want to get too detailed, but I will provide an example. Suddenly, the line stops because the robot placed the part a tiny bit off on the die. So the robot can't pick it up. They're like, oh, nope, can't get it. Got to stop the line, fix it. A man or lead needs to go in, jiggle the part in place, and start the machine again. Simple. That is 95% of the time an A man or lead's job. If it's anything relatively more difficult than that, call maintenance from the walkie-talkie. That's it. That's the lead's and A-man's job. While the line is running, they get to take it easy. Most of the time, you will see them on their phone. They're just chilling, bro. So the line is running 90% of the day, 80% of the day if you're lucky. Stackers and QC work. We're working. The line stops, we're working. They're chilling. The line stops, we're chilling. They're working. So they're working 20% of the day. Okay. I'm gonna continue on. Just to get that clear in your head, okay? When the line is down, the leads or A-man work. Now, if you want to learn to be A-man, you have to run all the way back to where the A-man is and spectate. And it's at least like 100 feet, 50 to 100 feet to get to where they're at. And then when the line starts, you gotta run back because you can't miss a part, bro. It's gonna fall off the conveyor belt. Okay. Well, if you want to learn to be A-man, according to the supervisor and the culture there, you have to run all the way back to where the A-man is and spectate. Just look. You're not really learning anything. I explained above why you're not learning anything. It's all super simple. But they use information suppression techniques to keep you at the worst jobs. This is the golden nugget right here. This is why working at Tesla sucks, in my experience. They use information suppression techniques to keep you at the worst jobs. One time as A-man, I even asked a couple guys from maintenance some questions to help me further my knowledge in running the line effectively. They usually reply along the lines of, I can't teach you anything because then you will take my job. This is the overall atmosphere in a nutshell. Advancing and learning new positions is all political. You can learn how to be an A-man to any line. There's 2A, 1B, 3B, no, BTR, 3A, 5A, 6A, 6 lines. 7 lines. There's that Chinese line with the freaking, that weird thing there. So 6 or 7 lines. Okay. You can learn how to be an A-man to any line in less than a week if you have the intellect of an ape. It's easy, bro. I already explained to you what you do. Like, you basically, 95% of the time, you go, move the part, start the machine up again. Then there's like about 3 other things that are really easy to learn that you can do. Anything after that, you're just calling maintenance, bro. That's all, dude. You're calling maintenance. Hey, maintenance, I need help. I can't get the line running because every little simple thing that I did is not working. So it's a little harder thing. You got to press a little extra buttons. That's it. To be maintenance, I'm not trying to like, okay, hold on. Okay, you can learn how to be an A-man to any line in less than a week. If you learn one line, it's pretty much almost all the same. Almost. Yet they hold you down because no one wants to stack QC or do any other mind-numbing repetitive work for 12 hours a day. Allow me how this place is run like a giant con. This is why Tesla has a huge turnover rate in stamping. The culture is a wreck and you are placing new hires in terrible positions they are forced to claw themselves out of. Tesla is ruining its own reputation by allowing this type of toxic workplace. If the other departments at Tesla are run like this, Tesla is doomed. Spoiler alert, from what I hear, they are run pretty similarly. I used to have respect for Tesla and admired the company. I test drove their cars 3 times and actually wanted to buy one. Working at stamping has completely changed my sentiments towards this company. I began doing further research into the cars themselves. I thought to myself, how can such a horrible company make such amazing cars? This is pretty much where my journey at Tesla ends, as what I found out was very discouraging. Their cars aren't really all that great. They come out with a ton of simple flaws. Things break all the time. They are shop cars. Don't expect a Toyota level of reliability when buying a Tesla. Expect more of a Jaguar. It is going to be in a shop all the time. I highly suggest you get the warranty or it will get very expensive for you real quick. I digress. I'm going to digress again on purpose. I have a friend who owns a Tesla and he told me this himself actually. And that's what started my research into the quality of the cars. I had no idea. I thought we made the world's greatest cars. That's why I was helping out for so long as well. And then 3 months after that, I was like, after I found that out, I was like, what's the point? I'm not even making good cars. Anyways, please let me explain. I'm gonna continue reading. This is important in my opinion, because I got nothing but love for all my coworkers. Please let me explain that I have nothing against my coworkers. Nobody. Not even my lead, not even my supervisor, nobody, man. I'm not upset at anybody at Tesla or from stamping. I honestly liked almost everyone I worked with and got along with almost everybody. Except for Gabe. Gabe, you suck and you're annoying. Just kidding, bro. I'm just kidding, man. Honestly, I'm just kidding, man. All right. Even my leads and supervisors. The culture that has formed and developed is not anybody's fault. It naturally evolved from many different variables. I think the easiest way to fix the lack of caring would be to increase people's wages. Starting wage is $19 an hour at Tesla. After taxes, I was making $1,200 every paycheck. That's on a good month. That's about $2,400 an average month. No way, dude, my numbers are wrong. Okay, that amount is a joke in the Silicon Valley. Let's go with these numbers. Even though it's way less than that, I was making a month. There's no way someone could raise a family on their own with that amount. Not in the Silicon Valley, bro. But apparently Elon is proud to say he gives jobs to thousands of families. Maybe that's true, but all of your production employees are struggling. It's no wonder 90% of Tesla employees drive 1 to 2 hours from the East Bay from 3 a.m. in the morning, then drive back 1 to 2 hours after their 12-hour shifts. When do these people sleep? And they have to drive in traffic, dude. It sucks. I could barely manage this, and I live 10 minutes away. Elon says Tesla is a tech company that happens to make electric cars. After my experience, I can't disagree more. Visit any tech campus in Silicon Valley and you will never come back to Tesla. It's true. Most tech campuses with billionaire owners like Elon will provide free food for their employees. At Tesla, you get a free cereal. They want you to pay for the subpar food their culinary team makes. Also, they have fridges filled with gas station food, sandwiches, frozen pizzas, frozen burritos, and other unhealthy crap. None of it's free. For the amount of work you're making your employees do, you can at least give them free gas station food. I lost count of the amount of time that their food made me sick to my stomach because they had been left in there too long. The fridge food, the gas station food. And the most likely underpaid restocking staff had just left it in there. Especially on the weekend, they don't come in. Everything's old by Sunday. Visit any decent campus across the Bay Bridge and you will see what I mean. Gilead, LinkedIn, Google, Dropbox, Lyft, and many more tech campuses treat their employees way better. I am an experienced business developer who has found success in entrepreneurship in the Silicon Valley. I have experience in multiple industries. I thought that when I was hired, they would place me in an appropriate position that would allow me to put my talents to use. Unfortunately, that was not the case. Since day one, I would tell my leads and supervisors I think there has been a mistake as to where I have been placed. They have always replied along the lines of, usually people have to stay 6 months to 1 year at their current positions before their transfer. Spoiler alert, you're not going anywhere different. You're going to stay in stamping. 99% of the chance. I believe everything happens for a reason. One of my favorite professors from college during a communication studies course taught me to live life for the experiences. It's true, good teacher. This is why I decided to stay, to study the stamping department as much as I could. I decided to write this review not to bash the company, but to hopefully open up upper management's eyes. Second, to provide some insight to anyone that has been hired for a position in stamping. I hope your experience goes better than mine. Third, to give a voice to everyone who currently works there and has no choice but to continue working there. That's why I'm making this video. P.S. If you think my experience was bad, try working on any line that involves 3A. Oh, that's a typo. Anything that involves Model 3. Everything I described goes triple over there. The engineers and upper management only care about numbers. They are working people to death in order to fulfill your Model 3 orders. It's true, man. They just say more, 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 more. Everyone's quitting, bro. Everyone's quitting, man. People get hired and fired all the freaking time. So that's my paper, dude. My 5-page paper. I can't believe we actually got through it, man. Five pages, 50 minutes, and a little bit of intro, about 20 minutes. What can I say, dude? Oh, also, I shared a story in my part 1 video where basically I talk about how bad the company is because of how they, what they do is they, we would have these meetings like after our first break where, let's say, they would stand over here where I was sitting. That's the supervisors, right? And we would all be around right here, circled around. And you can't even hear like what the supervisors are saying because there's giant machinery running, bro. Like, and we're wearing earplugs. It's like kind of like a safety standard that should be enforcing, but a lot of people stop caring. Get that? And so, I'm saying what's up to one of my employees. And so they would run these meetings like, oh, we're going to do this today. These are our numbers. This is how many splits we had. And you can't hear what they're saying, bro. Like, no one can hear what they're saying. I'd be like, what did he say? I'd be like, nobody knows. So it's like, that kind of thing, man, it reduces morale. And it's just like, so dumb, dude. Like, how can you hold a meeting? Your supervisor, like, this is your business in a way. You know, this is your department. Imagine me holding a meeting with the chefs and, like, no one can understand what I'm saying. Like, just that alone shows you how little they care, bro. Like, no one cares about anything there, really. The supervisors themselves would be, like, throwing off statistics, goals, numbers, and no one can hear what they're saying unless you stand hella close. They even went and got a PA system, dude. They went and got a PA system like this, kind of. They're holding the mic, and they would, whenever they talk into the mic or the microphone input detects sound, the speaker would light up, right? They were talking to the mic, and like they would talk like this. So it was the same thing, dude. Like the PA system didn't even work, bro. It was like a joke, dude. That whole job was a joke, man. And that's why I lost hope in Tesla, and I'm never gonna buy a Tesla because the culture is crap. They treat their employees like crap, and the cars don't even come out that well, dude. And I can understand why after everything I've seen and experienced. So, like I said in my part 1, I encourage everyone to go work at Tesla. Actually, it's a super awesome experience to help you become the best version of you. Like, it's like boot camp. No job in the Bay Area will be as bad as that, probably. And you will probably excel at every other job you do after that. It's quite the experience because if you grew up in the Silicon Valley, if you're in the Silicon Valley, like, you're probably spoiled by all these amazing companies because the culture is amazing, the work environment is awesome. And so Tesla is completely the opposite of that. So I thank them for helping me get my mind on track, made me feel very blessed to where I am in life. Before I was kind of like, damn, I want more. I want to own a tech company. I want to be one of these like multimillionaire tech company owners, and I'm just not good enough. But now I feel very humbled, and I feel very blessed now, man. I'm very appreciative of where I am in life. I'm not perfect. I'm not the greatest, but I feel more focused and more what's the word, like I want to grow more where I'm at. Instead of wanting something different, I want to take what I have now and build it even further. So that's why I'm thankful for my experience at Tesla. And yeah, I'm not I'm sorry if it feels like I'm trying to talk trash on my coworkers, or if anything, I am talking a little bit of trash on the management because, come on, dude, no one can hear you at your meetings. People will look at you like a joke, bro. No one's gonna respect you after that. So yeah. I don't know what to say. I got a lot of stuff to do, man. So I think an hour for this is more than enough time to go over this and to hopefully help anyone out there who's considering a job at Tesla. Maybe they got a job offer and they're super happy about it and they're gonna move or leave a really good job. I say don't, man. Don't leave a really good job for an opportunity to grow at Tesla, because chances are you're not gonna grow at Tesla for a long time. You're gonna be shocked by the difference in the environment and culture wise, work wise. There's chemicals all over the place. You're smelling that up. It's dangerous. You can get hurt. I've seen it happen multiple times. Happen to me. Even with the safety gear on, you'll get hurt. So, yeah. I'm not sure what else to say. I got so unhealthy working at Tesla, man. I'm barely getting up to where I used to be. I used to be so fit, and like the food, the shitty ass hours, the stress, it got to me, man. So now I'm trying to get back in shape, back healthy, grow my family's business, and move on, because it's kind of it might give you a little PTSD working there, dude. To be honest, like I feel like, damn, I went through some shit, dude. Like, since everyone there is in that culture, like they make you feel like worthless, dude, hopeless. But in Silicon Valley, bro, like this is the land of fucking like tech dreams, dude. The whole United States is a land of fucking dreams. Make something of yourself, dude. Like, you're slaving away for what, dude? For what? For like minimum wage? I guess some people just aren't meant for more, which is fine. Minimum wage is fine, If that's what makes you happy, do it. But what I've seen, like limping old man on their feet all day because they got no other options for work, it makes me sad. But yeah, I think I'm dragging this on. I'm trying to make it 60 minutes, but I'm just gonna cut it now. So peace, y'all. I miss all my buddies there, but I'm glad I left. No offense. And good luck. Use the education, man. They give you free education, give you learning IT or like coding, bro. Like, you have no idea how much like people need coders, man. Like, it's crazy. If I wasn't here, I'd be doing that. Peace.